You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. An update on some breaking news we first told you about at 5:30 tonight. Billings police are investigating two incidents that happened in the city earlier this evening. One of them ended with a crash in Amen Park after police initiated a traffic stop with a suspected stolen vehicle around 5 on 32nd Street and King Avenue. That car was occupied by a man and a woman. They led police into the soccer fields of Amen when the car crashed into a ditch that runs through the park. Billings Police Sergeant Brett Becker said one of the occupants tried to carjack another vehicle at a nearby Taco Bell on King Avenue East. Both occupants of the vehicle were taken to a Billings hospital with unknown injuries. But police were still at Amen Park when a call for a shooting came over the radio shortly after 5. A man was shot in the 200 block of Prickett Lane and was transported to a Billings hospital with unknown injuries. Police said there were two male suspects, one of whom escaped custody. The second suspect was arrested after fleeing the scene to an address on Moore Lane. Billings police officers spotted him trying to hide in a dumpster and took him into custody. Police Sergeant Becker said the victim knows the identity of the suspect, who is still on the run. A record jump for coronavirus numbers in Montana today, pushing Montana medical experts to send a warning, and one county is forced to shut down testing so healthcare workers can handle the surge. State health authorities calling today's spike in confirmed coronavirus cases frightening. This morning, Montana health authorities reported 56 confirmed COVID cases, the highest one-day total by far. Yellowstone County had the highest number at 14, Gallatin County right behind with 13. Just over 6,400 people were swabbed in this latest round of testing. Also tonight, officials at Malmstrom Air Force Base near Great Falls report the first positive COVID-19 case there at the base. Well, here in Yellowstone County, Health Officer John Felton tells us the increase is concerning as many of the new positives are coming from family get-togethers.
It's very significant. I think the other thing that we're seeing that is certainly of a concern is many of these cases are they're related to gatherings, many family gatherings like barbecues and weddings and family get-togethers, where summertime fun is turning into infection and disease.
Felton says very few of the positives in Yellowstone County are from the community testing that was done at Metro Park. Only 3 people have tested positive so far from that. So he's urging people to social distance, wash their hands, and to wear masks.
Clearly, when people are masked, they reduce the risk of spread of disease. You think about it this way, the main thing that the mask does is it prevents the masked person from expressing droplets that could be infected. If both people in a conversation are masked, they're each protecting the other. So it's not a controversial issue in public health. I understand that there's some sort of political and social elements to that, but it's not a public health controversy whatsoever.
Felton says he believes the driving force behind the increase in cases is clearly that people are getting together more than they were before. After a three-week-long battle with this virus, a Billings man was discharged from the hospital today. Q2's Mitch Legge talks with Irvin Rising's son, who didn't know if he would ever see his family again.
The official end to 3 long weeks. Irving Rising's son was discharged from St. Vincent Healthcare Monday after a long fight with COVID-19.
Counting the minutes, seconds.
When I went to his bedside this morning, I asked him how he was doing, and he turned to me and he had a big radiant smile, and I said, "You look like you might be ready to go home today." And he said, "Oh, I am so ready."
Other than conversations over the phone, Rising's son hasn't been able to see his 2 kids and slew of grandkids since June 8th. The family was all there to celebrate his recovery.
So proud of him that he's a lot stronger than I am through it all. And just being around family and just kind of supporting each other, and a lot of prayer throughout our family. So, yeah, that really kept me together.
Rising's son said support from hospital staff was crucial when he couldn't see his family. The disease also gave him a new perspective on life.
A lot of things that you have to take care of that you take for granted. And they come up and you realize what advantage you have when you're not sick.
The family had some advice for others who are supporting a family member in their COVID-19 fight.
just remain confident, and it's not, the end all be all for it. Just support and continue to be strong. Yeah, because my dad's a strong guy and a little hard-headed sometimes, but but thank God he is.
In Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
Thank you, Mitch. And Rising Sun's family urges everyone to follow the safety precautions recommended by health officials so fewer families have to go through this. In Wyoming, Governor Mark Gordon has extended the state's current public health orders through July 15th. Wyoming has seen 288 confirmed cases since June 15th, which is when the current orders went into place. Governor Gordon said that, quote, "No one wants to see the progress we've made vanish, but that requires each of us to make a concerted effort to slow the spread of the virus." He reiterates that good hygiene, social distancing, and the wearing of masks is the best way to keep yourself and others healthy. The continuing orders permit events up to 250 people where social distancing is possible, or up to 50 people in confined spaces. Faith-based gatherings can continue to operate without restrictions, but social distancing is encouraged. To date, Wyoming has recorded 1,144 positive COVID-19 cases and 20 deaths. A Columbia Falls man is now charged for allegedly removing the Ten Commandments monument from outside the Flathead County Courthouse. It's a case that has made its round in the national news. 30-year-old Anthony Weimer has been charged with felony criminal mischief after pulling a Ten Commandments monument out of the ground and into the middle of the street. Kalispell Police Chief Doug Overman says Weimer wrapped chains around the monument and pulled it out of the ground behind his pickup truck. Weimer was arrested in Kalispell shortly after the incident occurred. He says they don't know at this time what provoked the act of vandalism. The chief says that Weimer remains in custody at the Flathead County Detention Facility there in Kalispell. Citing a heightened awareness around the nation surrounding social justice and Black Lives Matter, the University of Montana's African American Studies program is offering 3 anti-racism classes this summer. Director of the university's African American Studies program, Tobin Miller-Shear, says these classes include the topics of dismantling racism in predominantly white institutions, the new Jim Crow to Black Lives Matter, and a survey of African American history. All 3 online courses are open for any Montana University System student, and Shear says they're filling up fast. Took an extra push to get these classes approved for the summer semester instead of waiting until fall, but Shear says he believes the time is now.
I think we have an opportunity to get these courses out there right now. There is a depth and breadth to the kind of response we're seeing, and we think we can step into that moment and press forward in a way that may have a chance of actually being effective this time. We want to actually get to those roots of the problem, and courses like these will help us equip us to get there.
Shear says the department is encouraged by the response and grateful that they can be helpful at this moment in our nation's history. The 4 former Minneapolis police officers charged in the death of George Floyd made their second court appearance today. CBS News correspondent Jamie Yukas reports from Minneapolis.
2 of the police officers charged in the death of George Floyd walked into the Hennepin County Public Safety Facility in Minneapolis for a pretrial hearing Monday. Thomas Lane, J. Alexander King, and Tu Tao, who's still in custody, appeared in person. They're charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and manslaughter. Derek Chauvin, who faces the most serious charges, including unintentional second-degree murder, appeared virtually. The judge warned the defendants and their attorneys and prosecutors about pretrial publicity, and that he doesn't want to hear public comments about the merits of the case, evidence, or guilt or innocence. He said if they continue, he'll issue a gag order. Since Floyd's death, there have been protests and calls around the country and the world for police reform. On Friday, the Minneapolis City Council unanimously voted to advance a proposal that could replace the police department.
When you're talking about dismantling the police department, you're not saying that police officers are just going to go away.
Absolutely, and certainly not right away. We're trying to provide a level of safety that we feel like our current public safety system doesn't currently provide.
As for the officers, the first trial is scheduled for next March. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Minneapolis.
The next court hearing in the Floyd case is scheduled for September. As of today, the Montana Fair is not only a go for this summer, but it's extended the number of days and there will be rides. The Fair will then be a 17-day event starting the weekend of July 24th, then running on select days until the fair wraps up on August 15th. Due to the pandemic, there will be no concerts, rodeos, or supercross events, but vendors and rides will be open. To ensure public safety and social distancing, only 3,000 people will be allowed on the fairgrounds at any given time.
We think we're going to get more than 3,000 a day. We're just going to have 3,000 at one time on the grounds. That's the limit we allow in. It's kind of like if you went to your favorite club and you can't go in because the occupancy load is only this big. You have to wait for somebody to come out. That's how we're going to treat the fair this year, with 3,000 people max being on the grounds as guests at any one time.
Most 4-H events move forward but will be closed to the general public. Organizers want people to come out and have fun, but to also be safe, and while mask wearing is highly recommended, so is getting yourself a Viking on a stick. Tickets go on sale July 6th. Still to come on the MTN 9 o'clock news, Campaign 2020. We're going to dive into Montana's race for governor. But first, Bob McGuire is back with your full 7-day forecast.